Welcome to the Hikmat Healing Podcast. Join me, Lisa, and my co-host Sean, the founder of Hikmat Healing. This podcast is for the spiritually curious, for people who feel like something in their life is blocked, repeating, or just a little off, but can't always explain why. In each episode, we explore the hidden energetic patterns behind things like bad luck, relationship struggles, emotional heaviness, burnout, even feeling stuck, all using real conversations, ancient wisdom, and stories from our healing work. We talk about energy in a grounded, honest way without fear, fluff, or extremes. If you're curious about how energy actually works, or you've tried other spiritual practices and are wondering what might be missing, you're in the right place. Let's get into today's conversation. Welcome back to another episode of the Hikmat Healing Podcast. I'm Lisa here with Sean, the founder, I should say, of Hikmat Healing, and also the primary healist. I don't know what to call you. We're just going to go with healist for now. We have a very interesting episode today. It's all about envy and envy energy, because I feel like that's probably something that a lot of people bump up against in their day-to-day life. So as we do with a lot of these episodes, Sean, is there like a energy of envy that you can kind of help people tap into or identify?
Yeah, thank you everyone, and hi. Hope everything is going well and you have the highest energy day by day. And look forward to see your happiness every day. About the envy, if we are going to tackle down what envy is and what is the structure of envy, let's put an example. For example, two kids that they are not being treated the same by their mom. Okay, one of them is not the favorite kid, and this everybody kind of can relate to that. Okay, everybody kind of felt like, okay, I was not the favorite kid, and that person says maybe I was the favorite kid, or I was not ever, and this misunderstanding always. Whatever mom says to one of the kids or to another, this kid feels jealousy towards the other one, or the other one finds some reasons to feel jealousy towards the other one. And this ongoing thing can make a pattern, like, how your mom treats you and how you feel about your mom or dad, doesn't matter. People that they are, as a kids, parents are like gods to us, to be honest. That's the pattern that we grow up with. And if we feel that kind of jealousy from the childhood, and if we are not secured enough, if they didn't fill us with love, and if they didn't eliminate the confusion for us and made the kid kind of confused, and let the kid be like, stay in the limbo, and the kid kind of have mixed signals here and there, that kid will grow up with this pattern. Okay, so that kid can possibly have the same feeling, the same anger, uh, the same pattern, sees the same pattern towards the other people, towards the friends in a relationship. For example, if somebody is has an abusive father, and because over years she grew up with the abusive father, she thinks that the love is having an abusive person. That abuse, she doesn't see it as a threat, she sees that it as a sign of love. And when she grow up, she tries to find the same character that her father was showing her as a sign of love through years. So this anger is making the person, I would say anger, this pattern make the person vulnerable to the energies that the other person sends to them, because it's an external energy, and your internal energy is going to be, let me fix it, and you cannot fix that person ever, because that thing never be cannot be fixed. So what happens at the end? The person goes with the wrong people, choose the wrong people, and even I've seen older people that they worked on themselves, and they They know what are the abusive signs. They get over it. They know what are the patterns that how their parents treated them, and they actually pinpoint all of the issues, and they know red flags. But still, it's really important. They still go for the wrong person, and they don't know why this guy that seems so nice, this girl that seems so nice, and she has all the good features that I want as a partner, but she doesn't get me or he doesn't get me. But that other bad guy or bad girl that I know this person doesn't have the good features. They are showing red flags, but I'm so attracted to that person. Why this happens? This is the unconscious, your unconscious mind doesn't know that. Okay. So to strike that, you need to, again, I believe, with a strong external energy, you need to strike that unconscious mind to get it, to get the person back to the normal again, like at least get back to something a normal human being can be. But it is very difficult because envy makes us vulnerable towards the people that we usually love, and that's really something that can happen, kind of, I would say, every day. For example, one of my clients, he had an abusive mom since childhood, and his mom was divorced from his dad, and she was living with him or his brother or here and there, and she was young, but she was not working, and she was using their resources. She had gambling problem, she had drinking problem, but she was trying to stay with his sons or here and there, with friends. And but she was putting guilt, like, I don't know what's the right word to it, but victimize the situations usually all the time. And every time he was thinking that, okay, he needs to prove her that, she needs to take care of herself somehow. But simply she was just denying him and putting some more guilt on him. And because of that, he was like, he was filled up with anger. He was not functioning at work at all. He was a couple times he was like, um, in the risk of getting fired and all that stuff. But what I'm trying to say, this envy was kind of something that was making him vulnerable towards the words that his mom was feeding him every day. And when I was talking to him, I told him, if it is possible, I'm sorry, but you cannot take care of your mom because she's sucking your energy. And if that's the situation, till until she is around you, you cannot be healed. To be honest, doesn't matter, because I can fix you once. I can give you some tips to hold, and some poses to hold, so the negative energy of others doesn't affect you. But if they are putting a kind of a hammer and kind of striking you every day, you know, at some point you will give up.
Mhm.
So you gotta run away from the situation, or you gotta. And finally, he was struggling. He was paying a lot of mental sessions to get rid of his situation, and finally, um, he he felt I think he had a ritual to, like, break the bond of this envy. Actually, envy can sometimes can be showing as a jealousy, or showing as a unresolved anger that you need to let go. And if you can't let go, that will suck your soul, that will suck your energy, and you gotta have some another strike from the external strike to change this blockchain between your brain and your surrounding and help you get over it. But you gotta eliminate the infection actually. That's the thing. But it will, it is hard, but it will give you the, um, I would say, the guts or the courageousness uh, to get the surgery done actually. And after he did the ritual, for example, for some purposes, I cannot say the name and stuff like that, but he got the he had to send his mom to some kind of when they take care of the, like, the drug issues and stuff like that,
Like a
camps, I
rehab
think.
center.
Rehab center, yeah. He had to send her there for a couple months, and he supported that much as he could, but he filed for, I think something, I'm not sure what is that called about, but her mom could not, his mom could not get back to his place anymore. So that was where he could heal himself. And after a while, he was totally fine, and he was going to move on to another city and living his life, better life. He was way happier. And I just want to say there are a lot of unresolved or jealousy type of energies around us that we don't know. But if you see somebody's are not helping you, are kind of putting guilt on you, and you can't do anything about it, um, if you can have if you can't have the serious talk to that person, maybe you need a ritual to find the guts to have the serious talk to that person. That ritual will give you the guts, give you the energy outside strike to find that courageousness to tell the person that, hey, you're hurting me and I cannot take this anymore. But a lot of people, of course, they are going to justify stuff. But anyway, what matters is your happiness and your health and mental health.
Well, I think it's interesting that you brought up the fact that the ritual would help give you the courageousness to have the conversation. Because I think there's sometimes this idea that, okay, you're going to do the ritual, you do the things, it's going to break it, and then I'm done. And sometimes that's the ritual is like the first step, right? It's like, okay, now you're going to sometimes maybe have to have the hard conversation that you don't want to have.
Right.
So it's about setting people up for that. But I also wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, I think when we think of envy, we forget that it's like a two-way street, that you might be envious of somebody else, or maybe you're thinking it's always that envy is somebody is jealous of you.
Of you.
But like even in your last example, it was very much the envy was about his envy or jealousy or anger towards his mom, not necessarily what was coming from his mom. So hopefully if people who are listening can see, like, it's not always that somebody is envious of you. It may be that you're having envious anger feelings towards somebody else. Can you talk maybe a little to, will the rituals and all of this stuff still help if it's your feelings going out? And because sometimes we talk about these external forces and we're like, oh, it's somebody outside of us who is sending all of this envy energy our way, but sometimes it's us sending it out into the world. Can you talk a little to that, of how maybe a Roz healing session might help break that chain of what you're sending out towards other people?
Yeah, definitely. For example, sometimes it's going to be our reactions actually. You are jealous of someone because of the better situations that you never had in your life, or a lot of reasons that you wish that you had this opportunities that this person has, but you never get the chance to have, and all of that type of stuff. It's just as an example. So this will send a signal to that person, and you put that person kind of on a way of a pedestal towards yourself, and that's where the envy starts shaping itself. So when whatever that person does, you feel like, you are one step behind. You want to do something to prove to yourself, and this is a never-ending loop that it's between your brain and your surroundings, and it goes back and forth, and it will just hurt your feeling day by day. So that ritual that I do, it's both. It works both ways. I'm gonna just pinpoint the next type later, but this will first strike your energy that you're sending out, and you're gonna put that positive energy about yourself. So there is two step here. One of the steps are going to be a raw session, or somehow we're gonna do it egg breaking ritual, and that will remove the kind of negative energy from you sending out, and to keep that positivity, to keep that ongoing and maintained. There are some, I can put that link to the YouTube channel as well. There are overnight sleep, and there are some energy healing, like during your sleep this subliminal will work itself. You don't need to do anything. Just overnight, you're sleeping, you turn on your YouTube and put your screen off on your YouTube, on your TV, if you have a TV or something on your home, or put it on your phone, and let the music just work its way to the morning. It's gonna be maybe like, you need 5, 6, 7 hours or 8 hours of sleep, and that will track your sleep, put you to sleep, and work its way, and at the end it will wake you up with the healing energy that you need, and that will maintain, and that will keep your energy to the stabilized level, that this negative energies will not bother you anymore. So that's how we can kind of maintain it. And on the other side of the envy, if somebody's envy is towards you, you're going to see the signs of, somehow, for example, whenever you talk to someone, you see stuff happens in your life. You talk to someone, not necessarily that person has a bad intentions toward you. He or she is a good friend of you, or your uncle, your mom, your dad, whoever, doesn't matter. But you get the energy from that person. You feel it. For example, you drop the call from this person, and you're done talking to the person after you had a good conversation with this person, and that person asks you, okay, how does your business work? Yeah, awesome, man. It's going really well. I have this big projects, and I have these stuff going on. Or how's your shop going? Yeah, we have a really good seasonal busy week or busy month, and all the good news. Okay, that person doesn't feel that good about that, but can show off that that person can show off that, oh, wow, that's great. But deep down, that person feels like, I wish I had such a situation. I had such an opportunity. I wish I could make such a money. I wish I could have such a holidays or such a break time, or a lot of stuff like that. When you drop the call, you see, okay, my car started ripping, like, my car, for example, I have a flat tire, for example. Maybe it's just not intentional, but you see the first issue, you say, okay, that can happen for everyone. And you see the second issue at the same day, and you say, okay, it's a little bit strange. In one day, two things, okay, I can fix that. I can get over it. It's not a big. But the third one, when you see the third one, that means it's serious. That envy is with you, because that energy worked on you, and you keep receiving. You're going to keep receiving over and over these signs, and these little by little nuts from here and there, till you take care of yourself. And that's where the actual ritual can help you. That's one thing and done. That's part of a ritual that we can do, actually one time and done. And for that cycle, or for that person that you did, it's going to be over, till you talk to that person again, and that person sends another energy that you don't know, and you start seeing the signs again. And if you see the signs again, if you think it is needed, you can order again, and we can do another ritual for the same person or not.
Yeah, I'll just like throw my personal experience in here because you did help me with something like that. I had a situation at work, and sometimes it's very subtle. It was like, why am I exhausted? Yeah, you can get exhausted at work, but I just felt like I really didn't want to go to work. And I felt like this dread that felt unusual from just like, I don't want to get up. It's Monday. I mean, it was beyond. So sometimes it is these like subtle hints of like, why do I feel this dread going to work? And then when I'm done, why do I feel so drained coming home from work? And it was just something felt off, but I thought it was just, your normal exhaustion. And then you and I started talking. You're like, what if we just, for the sake of argument, let's crack an egg, see what happens. So we sit down, we go through the whole process, and it very clearly hit on one particular person that I work with. My interactions with them would not have triggered that they were envious, triggered that they were sending something. It was always this weird jokey energy. And I think sometimes you can mistake, I'm just joking with you for covering up the fact that I'm trying to be mean to you, I guess. But after that, I think it was this reassurance that, okay, I've broken this loop of energy, and what he tries to send to me gets back to him. That it had kind of like, I mean, I haven't noticed anything yet, and it's been a longish amount of time. So it kind of felt like, in my experience, I got a little bit of a protective bubble from this, that okay, I know where my energy can expand and extend to, and you have kind of broken this so it doesn't get to seep into this energy field that I'm working so hard to kind of keep and protect, and it gets to go back to him. And what happens to him when that energy goes back is not my job and not my responsibility to worry about. So if there are like, just to help people out there know that if there are these subtle things that just feels off with a relationship that you can't figure out why, like when you get off the phone, you don't feel energized, or when you dread going to hang out with them, or they're making these passive aggressive comments on your Instagram, that it can be these small little things that just feel off and you can't quite put your finger on why. I would suggest talking to Sean, because, and it wasn't necessarily me having to spill everything. It was just getting into this space of tapping into, okay, who at work may not have my best intentions at heart? And I don't need everybody to shower me with like all the positive vibes ever, but just don't give me your heavy stuff. So just to let you know that it can be those subtle things, and that there can be this real relief. And I think that would be the best way I could describe what happened after the session, was this feeling of, wow, I didn't realize things were so heavy. I didn't realize I was carrying so much. And then there's just like, you're like, oh, okay, I can breathe a little bit easier. I can still have interactions with the person at work, but I think I'm then more mindful of how I interact with them. I'm more mindful of how I interact with people because I know that that energy is so transferable. So yeah, there are some days where I'm like, I have to be extra careful because my energy feels finite today and not everybody gets to have it. So I need to be extra careful with that. So just my 2 cents into, if you feel like you're not quite sure if it's an envy going your way or somebody coming from somebody else, that a session is a really good way to clear through all of that clutter and to clear through having that you as the objective third person be like, nope, it's not that. Nope, it's not that. Because in my brain, it could have been anybody. And when you're so inside of it, it's so hard for you to be objective and say, it could be this, it could be that. But you don't know these people. You have no horse in this race. You are just here to help the person be objective and be like, I think it might be this. Let's try that. And of all things, if that doesn't really feel like it fixes the issue for you, it doesn't mean that it's an unfixable problem. It just means, okay, there are other things that we need to tap into because we didn't quite hit or you didn't give me enough information to quite figure out where that issue might be coming from.
And even on the ritual, for egg cracking ritual, actually, the way that the egg cracks is assigned to us is assigned to me as well, that how that person sends the energy towards the envy, how that person has the envy energy to send towards you based on the way the egg cracks, and it depends on if it's the beloved one. For example, if it's mom or dad or somebody in the family, you cannot throw them away, right? You cannot throw the family away. Maybe you can speak less to somebody at, if you feel drained, or you can just deny them, okay, sorry, I'm busy and I cannot have this conversation with you today, for example, and let the person be fixing their problem with someone else. And that's how you can deny someone at work if you don't like the person, right? But you cannot do that in a family, right? For those cases in a family, there is a way. Actually, there is a way. There is a way that you need to do two different. It's going to be a combined method. Actually, the first one is going to be breaking the chain of the blockage, or the chain of envy, which will clear your energy first. And whenever there are some signs and some healing energies that we can have those, possibly one of the links that we are going to put on as YouTube links down there, that will help you first keep your energy level at the level that their envious will not affect you, and we can call it the bubble, and that bubble will protect you, and that subliminal can help you. That will be something that every morning when you wake up, you can listen to that music for a couple minutes when you just open your eyes, and stay in bed. Do not just jump outside and do your brush and all that stuff. Just stay in bed for 10 minutes and listen to that music. Let the music sink to your body. And then you're going to feel the bubble. Actually, you're going to feel the bubble when you are going to work. You feel the protection when you are going outside. And that's the beauty of it. And towards the family, if you feel that you have some vulnerability towards that person that is pinpointing stuff towards you, there are some signs, there are some moves that you can do, that I can show. Maybe one of them I can show you here. If you can take these two and these two and just put these two circles together like this, and while you are talking to this person, and that person is trying to put some guilt on you, or victimize, or do some other stuff to make you feel bad about yourself, you can hold this posture while they are talking to you. Their energy, because it's center to center, that's the sign that we call it, center to center. So it's the center of your hand, center of your palm, to the center of your palm. If you hold these two centers toward each other, that will not let any negative energy, when the negative energy is coming towards you, it will not affect you. So this can be one of the free tips that everybody can do, and you're welcome.
Appreciate that. So we will put, yes, the links to our energy healing playlist in the show notes, because we're adding to those every week. So keep checking that to find ones for sleep, for energy protection, for work focus, for all different varieties. We're working hard to build that playlist up. So make sure you're checking that out. The email address will be also in the description show notes, so that if you've got a question, if you've got something you want us to explain a little bit more, or you're just curious about, drop us a note. We would love to hear that, because we would love to create episodes that are answering the questions that you want to know. So make sure you're including that. Share this with somebody who maybe is envious of you, or you are envious of them, or they're going through a time like this. We would appreciate that. And make sure to hit all the buttons to like, subscribe, comment. That really does help other people who are looking for this kind of help and information find us that much easier. We do appreciate when you share us with others. And thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Hikmat Healing Podcast. And we will talk to everybody next week.
Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Thank you so much for spending time with us on the Hikmat Healing Podcast. If this conversation resonated with you, please take a moment to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. This really helps more people find our work. We'd also love to hear from you. If you have a question, a topic you'd like us to explore, or something you're experiencing and want us to talk about it, you can email us at hikmathealing@gmail.com, and that information will be linked below. And if you're feeling called to go deeper, you can learn more about Hikmat Healing and our sessions at hikmathealing.com. Again, link will be in the notes. Until next time, take a breath, take care of your energy, and we'll see you soon.